What's up, internets? I had planned to start getting our community videos started and feature some local Aussie custom builds this week, scoots, bikes, and cars and stuff like that, but no! Not now. Not now. Bad timing. So what better time than a lockdown quarantine to get in some of those projects you've been holding back on? Pull it out of the shed, go to Bunnings, sneak past the residents of Raccoon City, and get to work. I know this episode is late. I hear you all saying it's late. It's late. Why? But I've been caught down in bed with a flu all of last week, which is fun. So to make up for it, this episode is going to have much more length and more girth. Last episode, we prepped the Donor, which was a high-quality scoot with a high-performance engine. We've got our workspace back now that the leaky Roadster is up and running again. Since then, we have the new project all stripped back and ready, and I pulled out an old set of Rucky headlights that I won in a card game, and the end of civilization going on outside. In an effort to make this a slightly educational clip, let's pull this engine apart, find out what's wrong, make it work, and where possible, avoid cutting it in half. We're going to call this progress, kind of. So, to get this started, we need to take a whole bunch of stuff off to get the engine out so I can clean that up. Because it's super clean. I want to have a look at this, which pulls on the oil mechanism pump thing. But I need to disconnect this, and I couldn't be asked pulling that off, which is probably the easier way to do it. So I'm going to unscrew this. Now to do this, there's a little screw in there, which is great, really easy to access. And especially if you have one of these drill extensions, designed in case you want to unscrew something in a different state. Okay, and it's off. So this is the, what? Excellent. Wasps. Wasps. Keep your engine running clean and lean with wasps. Cool, we got it off. Be honest with me, is this too low? So if you're wondering what runs your 50cc scooters, it's this. Just this. This little bit here. That's it. Don't worry about the other stuff, just that. Now, one thing I was wrong about, that is not an oil injection tube. I'm an idiot. That is a vacuum tube. You can see because it goes there onto this carburetor. So here's where the air comes in from the outside world. Here's where the fuel goes in. Here's where your throttle goes up and down. And here is where you get vacuum. So this has a little tube, and this is what we need to get off and look at, and then we need to pull this apart. So that's the next step. Oh, and if you're interested where the oil injection thing actually is, there. See this on the carb, which plugs into your wiring. Now, what this is, it's a little device that's basically an auto choke. So you don't have a manual choke on these little things. Here it is. Okay, so that goes in there, and there's a little needle there. Now, electricity goes in there, warms this up, heats up a little bit of oil that's in there, and it expands, which makes this needle thing go up and down. So it starts up, and as it expands, it goes outwards and pushes down. What that does is when it starts up, you actually have a little tube in there that pulls more fuel through when you first start the scooter, and then as it warms up, it goes down, slowly blocks it off, and then you're not pulling through as much fuel. So it works just the same as a manual choke, except you don't have to do anything. Unscrew this. Okay, cool. Hurt my right hand. That's annoying. It does all my favorite things. Anyway, here's your carb. So what we can do with this is disassemble it, boil it in hot water and lemon juice. Yes, that actually works. That'll clear out all of these airways and stuff. Dry it off really, really well. Usually run some mineral spirits or something through it that's going to get rid of any excess water. Make sure it is dry and put her all back together, and she should run. Oh, and in case you want me to be informative, which wasn't part of the deal, by the way, this thing spins around when your flywheel spins. So as your engine's running, this spins. These are little fan blades, so it acts like a little turbine. Blows air outwards, and then you have this magic thing that sits over the top. And what that does is it blows air around here into the plastic cover over the... Oh, wait, they've taken the plastic cover off. Okay, so I've undone this. Let me show you how this works. When the air gets sucked through there, these are these little reed things I was talking about. So they get pulled back, and then they close up when you stop getting that. Now, what can happen is these can unseat, and they can actually end up bent back from this assembly, but these aren't, so this is fine. Another thing to check, which I should have checked earlier, but I didn't check because I'm, yeah. This spark plug, this should be nice and firmly screwed in here, so you don't get any, you know, compression leaks around it. It should not be able to be removed with 2 fingers. Here she is, all stripped back, ready to be cut up. Yeah, so what I'm thinking is we're gonna lose this bit here, because that held the fuel tank, which won't be there anymore. But in order to not mess with the frame too much, I'm thinking of keeping this bit, removing this top bit, but keeping the bottom thing, because this is where the suspension support is. We'll move that later, maybe. Not sure, but that allows us to move this back here a bit. That looks important. Let's keep that. So this is the frame as it stands now. Got most of the crap off. There's a nice pile of crap everywhere. I left this bit here because I thought it might be useful to do a number plate and taillight mount. These bits here are gonna have to be ground off, and all the other little annoying bits that were just sticking out are pretty much gone. So we've got the basis for what we need from the frame, so that's nice. For the mount, I was thinking of attaching a stretch here and here and running it up to these, but it's not going to have quite enough supporting material. If I do that, it's just going to be chaos. That'll be chaos. No chaos. No. I will get rid of that, but I'm going to put another support bracket across there to replace it. This is where the original seat used to screw into. Okay, so here it is, all put back together with the frame modifications so far. So I'm kind of liking the length. I was originally going to stretch this, but to be honest, I don't know if it needs it. This is already a fairly long one. Long. What I am looking at doing though is these handlebars too high. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to cut that there, and I have another handlebar mounting thing over there, which we can put here. Yeah, from the front you can see those handlebars, they're just too high. Big frickin' chicken bone thing sticking through the top. Ah, the hell. Alright, so what we've done, we've cut that off there, which is now somewhere here. So what we'll do, I'm going to weld it there. Somehow. In there. Maybe. We'll make that work. We'll weld this somewhere here. Awesome. Plan 1 failed. That wasn't going to work. So we've gone to plan 2. So what we've done is this little bracket here. This little bracket here tightens and holds this onto here. So what I want to do is take that off. So I've ground down the weld over there, remove that, and we'll attach it to the... Okay, found it. Now here's the next thing. I turn this upside down and I've ground a hole through there and there. And I got this little thing off. And the idea is going to be we're going to fit that around there. And that will allow us to tighten this thing up. The other thing I did was we've drilled a little hole there, a little hole there, so we can get something, a high tensile bolt, of which I don't have, so I'm just going to use this. That will sit through there, and what that does, that sits into that little groove there. That means when you actually turn this, it turns. Makes it a lot more secure, and so you're not just relying on this thing being really tight to control your steering. Otherwise you turn left or right and it spins around and you're upside down flying through the air like something in a Ghibli cartoon. Okay, with that done, here we have our new piece. So if you have a look at this carefully, I've put the bracket on there. We have the hole that was originally there anyway, which allows the bolt to pass through. And then we can put our cross thing through there. So if we get, where is it? That. And put it through there. This is through there. That means we can put this on top of there. The bolt that we will weld through here, high tensile bolt, not a normal bolt. See this? I'm about to use this. Don't use this, you'll die. So, high tensile bolt through there, which will let that actually turn stuff. There we go. We got it, we got it, we got it. It just needed to be eased in. Eased in, just ease it in. That's the way. It's less high than it was, but I think if we put some drop bars on it, it might look okay. Super important side note. Once we have this in there, and all of this is straight, and we've got it right, we need to weld across here and across here, because this bracket needs to be permanently attached to this. So, this is it, fitted with some slightly lower handlebars. Well, not really, they're just kids' handlebars that we've clamped it to the middle of, but this is about the right height. So, we'll have handlebars that we're gonna make, which will be like these, but picture trimming them off there. The reason I'm not going to actually use those, because they're kids' handlebars off a bike that I got for free from the dump where it was rusting and dying. There's a 90% chance of death with those, so we're not going to use those. That's good. Oh, and in case you're wondering where I got this, I don't know. It was in a box. So if you're looking for one of these, go into your garage and look for any boxes. This was in a box. I don't know where it's from. Don't ask me questions. No comments. Sorry.
So we're getting there. Next time we're aiming on having this thing all together and writing before we start doing some paint and quality testing. Until then, peace, love, and zombies, everyone. See you next time.